I am proud to be an immigrant woman because it is who I am and it empowers me to help other immigrants reach their potential. We know they come to this country because they want to work and they want a better life for themselves and their families. I was born in Escuintla, Guatemala during the Civil War. It was a very dangerous time in the region. And unfortunately, like many of the people that are here in the US that come from that region, my parents ultimately made that very difficult decision to send me north to the US to live with my father's oldest brother. My father was a labor leader who, was constantly being threatened. And he was going to the University of San Carlos. We were taking the highway back from Guatemala City to Escuintla when a group of men began to follow us and began shooting at the vehicle that we were in. I can't imagine, what my parents were going through. At that time, people were often killed or disappeared, still are in the region. So, as a toddler, my parents thought maybe we should put her on the window so that they can see that we have a child in the car and maybe these people will stop shooting and go away. And so that was one of the reasons why my parents felt it is just not safe for me to grow up there. They just didn't see a future for me in Guatemala. My mother passed away while I was here in the US. My aunt and my uncle did not even tell me that she had passed away until about a year after her death. It was hard for me to adjust to my new life in America. My new friends, my new school, and my new family. So they didn't tell me, but eventually my father traveled to the US after my mother passed away. I ultimately went to live with him when I was in high school. And, it was nice, being reunited with my father. Coming to America as a young girl, not knowing how to speak English and not really understanding the culture was a very difficult period in my life. But I'm thankful today that my parents made that decision. Living in the US, for me, it has given me an opportunity for an education. It's given me an opportunity to work. It's given me an opportunity to join a labor union. For immigrants specifically, I think it is so important to get organized and to join a union because oftentimes that is our only protection. My husband was in the building trades for over 20 years. We bought our first home in our early 20s. And the reason why we were able to do that was because we both had union jobs. We were able to raise 3 children. My children are so fortunate to have the parents that care for them that were able to teach them how to be a voice in their community. If I would have stayed in Guatemala, I don't know if I would have reached the age that I am right now. I don't know if I would have been able to grow up to be the person that I am today. I often say that I feel like my future was stolen in Guatemala, that I should have had an opportunity to be, a member of Congress in Guatemala. But if I did have an opportunity to grow up and to be a vocal leader in my community, certainly I would have been a target of these corrupt officials of a drug cartel, and they would have probably murdered me. That is the reason why so many immigrants are fleeing the region, and that is the reason why I continue to stay engaged in the region. So I'm doing everything that I can now in my role as a member of Congress, dealing with those governments, specifically in the Northern Triangle, to improve conditions, to improve opportunities for the youth in that area. Anytime we find ourselves in a leadership position, it is critically important that we look back and figure out how we can help, that we don't burn down the ladder that we climbed on. I'm working toward an immigration reform bill that encompasses 11 million people, that takes them out of the shadows and puts them, forefront and gives them not only an opportunity to get legal status, but an opportunity to be full citizens, full participants, not just taxpayers. We need to have an immigration system that fully recognizes the humanity of everyone. We have to be outspoken, and we cannot apologize for speaking out on behalf of immigrants.